Night. We have a very exciting interview for you guys today because last week we got a chance to interview one half of the big main event coming up for you guys in September, and tonight we get a chance to interview the other half. Please introduce me my guest at this time, Jenna the Gem Creason.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good.
Well, hey, it's definitely an honor to have you guys. In case you guys don't know what I'm talking about, she's going to be fighting Liv Beerley coming up on September 27th for VFS MMA. It's going to be a great fight. I mean, what's your mind right now as you're getting yourself ready for this big fight?
Oh, I'm so excited. This will be my first time headlining a main event, and being able to do it pretty close to home. I'm really excited. I have a tough opponent, so this is definitely going to be a war, and
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait.
And of course, real quick though, we definitely want to get a chance to shout out to VFS. Don't want to butcher it because they've been so amazing with these interviews, and of course, they've been awesome. And if you guys want to get a chance to follow them, go follow them on Instagram at VSS MMA. Now, of course, let's go ahead and get things started. So we all get inspired by what we do best. Me when it comes to interviewing, but you when it comes to fighting. So, what inspired you to start fighting?
I have six older siblings. My dad had all my siblings do wrestling. My brothers did boxing and karate as well. I kind of first got into it because I wanted to be able to beat up my brothers and, be on the mat with them, that whole thing. But I ended up turning it into a career. I loved it, and I kind of went on this path. My dad never expected it to be at the level it is already. Um, but I kind of told him when I was 4 years old. I remember grabbing his face like, "Dad, I want to be the best in the world. This is what I want to do." And that was just around the time where Ronda Rousey was coming out. She was being the very first UFC champion, and I was like, "Okay, instead of just wrestling, now let's go towards the MMA."
Yeah.
And with that, I met amazing people. I've been blessed with great opportunities through different programs and gym owners and coaches, that I ended up just starting adding martial arts under my belt. We started with wrestling, then boxing, karate, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, Nogi, and judo. And I
Wow.
kind of just started adding them all and started competing. I've trained and competed in all of them for the last 15 years now. So,
Wow. Man, 15 years doing all this, that's insane.
mhm.
And I gotta get a chance to ask you, I mean, looking back, do you ever kind of just take a moment and just think about all that you have worked, your butt off, everything that you've gone through everything that you just mentioned?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That was something that once I turned pro, because I turned pro as a senior in high school this last year, which was a huge accomplishment for myself. I went undefeated for my wrestling season my junior year. I won CIF state undefeated, 44-0 with 39 pins, and then I turned pro the end of my senior year. And of course, my mindset is always, I'm not doing enough. I need to win another championship. I need to be more active. I need to kind of just keep leveling up. But being able to compete in the pros at such a young age and to do what I've done already, it's kind of like, okay, you've done a lot, but again, the job's not done. We still got plenty more to go.
Yeah, and of course, you trained at Visalia Powell. I mean, a great gym, a great time to be able to get a chance to join them. Talk about how much they've helped you ever since you joined them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I started with the Visalia Pal at 8 years old. Again, my dad, who's like, "You're not boxing, like that's crazy. I don't want my little girl to get punched in the face. Like, what are you thinking?" And so it was actually a police officer that told me about the POW program at a park. And so I was like, "Oh yeah, Dad, I want to do it." He's like, "No, you got wrestling. You're good. Just stick with that. Like, you don't need to go to something else." And I kept bugging him, kept bugging him. He's like, "Okay, you know what? Next week we'll go check it out." I'm like, "Okay." Next week comes around, and he's like, "Oh, no, 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 next week." I meant next week. And he kept doing it, and he kept doing it. Finally, I cornered him. We didn't have any practice that day. I was like, "All right, Dad, let's go. It's right around the corner. Let's go." So we ended up doing it. The coaches pretty quickly, kind of threw me in there with the boys. It was something they always done. They would line up multiple of the guys around the side of the ring and just rotate them in. And
Yeah,
I wasn't good at all. Obviously, I had no idea what I was doing, but I was taking hits, giving them. I bloodied multiple lips of theirs, busted her nose, and kind of just one by one took them all out, just being aggressive in a brawler. Something that I'm so happy we kind of got out of now. But Just worked my way through the line, and the coach was like, "Hey, we don't have anybody else, so if you still want to do this, we can start training you." And soon after that, I started competing. My very first one in the amateurs, I got with a knockout. I had a bigger opponent, which is something that's been in my career basically my whole life. I always went after the bigger, better opponents, bigger, better training partners, because if I got beat up, at least I learned from it and then I'll go after them again. So
Yeah.
constantly having that mindset through all of it. And yeah, then I ended up going to nationals 3 times, won that. I was in Team USA for the youth high performance team, went overseas, brought home gold there. So yeah.
Man, a lot to accomplish, and you talk about being the smaller person versus you might as well say like a giant. Do you ever kind of just look at your opponent and just thinking, here we go again, another David versus Goliath battle? Do you ever kind of just think about that a time or two?
Oh yeah, I love that though. I love being the underdog. I always love having to have a challenge. That was always the most exciting part, I would say, of fighting and even training. My dad keeps trying to like stop me from it even now still because I'll go after the biggest and the toughest, more experienced fighter. He's like, "You're gonna get hurt." I was like, "You know what? But if it's a learning process and I'm getting better, that's all that matters."
Yeah.
And so I enjoy that. I love the David and Goliath story too. So it was perfect. It's just it fits me very well for how I am very geared towards in my mindset.
And you might as well say that for anybody who is going to be seeing you fight coming up September, I mean, they'll be like, "Wow, I mean, this girl really is short. She really is small, and no wonder." And I believe that'll be a lot of the storylines, especially once when you move up in the rankings.
Yeah, absolutely. We're eventually going to cut down and weight a little bit more. I think I could lean out better. But
Yeah,
for right now, we're good at this weight. We're healthy. My weight cuts has been going pretty well. And it's not my first time facing a bigger opponent. My fights in the past, I've also been bigger. My second fight, that one I went up quite a bit for a fight due to some last minute dropouts and stuff like that, which is unfortunately very common in my career. But yeah, it's nothing new. Another day on the job doing something that I love.
and of course, before I get to the next question, I mean, you talk about opponents dropping out. I mean, we've seen it a time or two where there's supposed to be a fight scheduled, and either the day or two, or even the day of the fight, the opponent backs out. Should I say? I mean, does it kind of get frustrating or irritated here and there? The fact that you're literally getting ready to fight somebody, and all of a sudden, randomly, it's like they drop out.
Oh, absolutely. That was something that has been a problem throughout amateurs and pros now. I thought once you get to the point where you're getting paid to fight that it wouldn't happen, but unfortunately it still does.
Yeah,
My debut, that was probably one of the ones I took the hardest, I would say. I was supposed to debut in Fresno at the Save Mart Center, which is like very local. And I
yeah,
think the hardest part of it is the feeling of like letting down my people almost, having a bunch of people, hundreds of people show up for me and then the fight get backed out literally the night before.
yeah.
I think it was just so heartbreaking. And of course, it's happened many times before that, but it's just, I want to be able to show up for my people, represent everyone who's supported me throughout my whole career and been by my side.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you learn to just live with it and go on and move on to the next one. But honestly, every single fight I've had so far, we had at least a couple dropouts before we found an opponent. So.
And yeah, I mean, definitely want to say is that as a fighter, I mean, it's going to be frustrating. It's definitely going to be angry, some short, but at least you found yourself a really good opponent coming up for you in September. Now, of course, my next question is that and this is one thing I love about getting a chance to do interviews is that we get a chance to hear different aspects when it comes to training. Some fighters say, "Oh, I just can't stand the physical aspects," or sometimes it may take a toll on me mentally, whatever it may be. So, from your perspective, what has been the hardest part about training?
Um, Honestly, all of it's hard, but that's what I love about it. Like, I
Yeah,
wouldn't say there's something specifically harder than the next, other than just balancing it all out. Especially this fight camp, we've had a lot of personal stuff that's been going on in my life that's been very tough to deal with. And
yeah,
still being able to handle all my priorities that I have for my fight camp and balance that has been a blessing because honestly, looking at it from the outside, it wouldn't really make sense. Like, there's no way that could happen. But I've been truly blessed by the people in my life, the coaches, my team, my family, and stuff. So Honestly, you get to choose what's hard in your life, and I think I chose probably the coolest job ever to be a 19-year-old professional fighter. So it's hard, but I enjoy it and I love it. So.
And of course, one thing I definitely would love to get a chance to ask is that, we all end up having that one thing that it's like our go to, whether if it's writing or music, whatever it is that may be. So, do you ever kind of have like a little go to when you're not fighting or when you're not at training or anything?
I will be honest with you, my life is kind of like all fighting, whether it's coaching. I coach a couple classes now. I also run a young girls program here at the Visalia PAL as a community program. It's free. Then I also coach boxing classes. I'm now going to be the high school wrestling assistant coach for a girls wrestling team here locally. Um, with that, I also work for the Amateur MMA Commission, so doing inspecting and working with the fighters. I love the sport so much. I like to stay in it in all kinds of ways. I want to learn every aspect of it, every side of it. And it's just given me a lot more experience and understanding about what I'm doing, seeing it from different point of view.
Yeah, and of course, one thing I could definitely say is that for anybody who doesn't know, this sport can not only take a toll on us physically, but the one thing I love to get a chance to ask is that regardless of how much the sport has taken a toll on us, the one thing I can say about this is that this sport has brought us to the bright side mentally. So my question to you is, how much has the sport helped you out mentally?
Oh, it's been hugely helping with like mental preparation, not only for fights, but also everything else in life. I can't remember the quote exactly, but once you start wrestling, everything else is easier. And I see that more so, not just for wrestling, but also just everything that I've been doing my whole life. And it's helped not only like kind of clear your mind, but ever since I was a kid, I was always super energetic and I wanted to go 100 miles per hour, have 10 million things to do all at once. And it's definitely helped me like see clearer and be more calm and be more patient. The sport, of course, not everything goes 100%, like 100 miles per hour, but it helps me focus on one thing at a time and kind of like settle my energy and use it for the best things possible. And I would say
Yeah.
my faith is also a huge part of that. Mentally, the sport is tough, life is tough sometimes, but being able to not only pray but also get it out in a like healthy, positive way is always good.
And of course, one thing I definitely want to say to our viewers right now is that, what, coming up tomorrow, this whole entire month is going to be Suicide Awareness Month. And the one thing I can say is that, I myself have struggled with depression, anxiety, and yeah, I'm still here to this day. And the one thing I can honestly say is that what has helped me is not only to get a chance to interview amazing fighters like yourself, but it's the fact that, I get a chance to go and see fighters go do something different, go be part of something incredible. So if you're struggling, first of all, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to break down. It's okay to shed a tear. But my biggest advice to anybody that's watching this live or will watch this is that just don't give up, because there's a lot of things planned ahead of you. If you are not doing anything at the moment, whether if you're in West Virginia or in California or anywhere else that you are at in the country slash world, just go be a part of a gym. It don't have to be certain ones. It could be boxing. It can be kickboxing. It can be MMA, jiu-jitsu, whatever it is that you want to do. Just go out there and do it. And Jana can vouch for me when I say is that if you're a part of a family, I mean, once you've joined, you'll be part of a family if you're not being loved by your own.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I think that is one of like the coolest parts of the sport is you walk into an MMA gym or boxing gym and it's such a diverse group of people from different backgrounds, different careers, and kind of bond through the sport. Majority of my friends are all teammates or coaches. I think my coaches are probably my best friends. Because I live, breathe, eat fighting. That's my life. And so to be around other people who see the same goals and see the wanting the same things for themselves, it's an amazing community to be involved in, especially in the gym.
And it doesn't matter if you're an interviewer or if you're a fighter, because we are all one big family. Even though at the weigh-ins you may see something different, but at the end of the day, we still have the same passion for the sport.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And of course, the one thing that I'm very curious about is that, for anybody who doesn't know, who doesn't follow Valley Fight Series page, is that you have had the opportunity to go do some interviews. And for anybody who doesn't know, we had the opportunity to talk about this. I want to bring this back up. Is that, how did this all happen? How did you end up, interviewing these fighters after their own fights?
Yeah, so that was something a little new to me. I haven't really done too much interviewing. I've done commentating in the past, which is why I was at the event. They wanted to bring me on as a guest commentator for not only the jiu-jitsu event but also the MMA event and Muay Thai. And so we came in. First day went great. This one was an extra long event, which was pretty fun. I won't lie, me and Marissa got a little goofy towards the end of it, but it was all still really good stuff. And I've done commentating here and there, and so I was thrilled to come, and we were able to like announce my fight during it, promote it a little bit. Come to the second day, I guess they had some situation with the interviewer that were supposed to do it, and so they asked me and Marissa to do it. And I was like, absolutely, I took the earlier ones just in case, they weren't too great, at least we'll learn as we go. And I ended up loving it. Honestly, being able to be on that side again, I love to see every perspective of the game. And to be as the interviewer, it was super fun. They gave me like a set of questions to ask the fighters that are basic. And I made a couple mistakes, I won't lie, but it was really fun for me. And so as we kept going, he was like, if you want to add anything, go ahead and go with it, kind of go with the flow. And being able to have the background as a fighter who's been getting interviews since she was like 10 years old, I was able to make certain questions for certain fighters that I knew they would want to say. Again,
Yeah.
after fights, you're tired, you're not always thinking right, you're like, oh my gosh, what am I going to eat? At least that's what I'm thinking. Um, but it gives you a little bit more insight. And so, especially my favorite one, she will be on the card as well, Ronnie Martinez. That was probably my favorite one. Not only her being one of the women on the card winning the Muay Thai belt, but also be able to have that little emotional part of it. And it's just, as a woman in this game, certain things mean more to you than it would in like the men's division. And it's like not a bad thing, it's a very good thing because we see things in a different perspective. And we see the little girls that we once were looking up to the female fighters and, really wanting to motivate them and really get them in the sport and show them that it's a welcoming sport. You got to earn your spot, like you have to do it and everything, but also being able to be there for the younger girls. And so it was an amazing experience. We'll possibly even do some more after this fight, so I'm excited.
I'm very excited for you as well, and I got to get a chance to ask you. I mean, isn't it incredible to get a chance to just interview somebody that you know very well? You feel the passion, you feel the emotion. It's like once we see the emotions on their face, it's like you want to be emotional with them, but yet you can't because like you got to be professional.
Oh yeah, I would say that's definitely the hard part. I hate being emotional and I hate crying, but I'm definitely in touch with those sides and those feelings. And so I almost started crying with Ronnie. My eyes started filling up, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is not good right now." But that's the true love of the sport, being able to connect with others who have the same goals, have the same drive, have the same motivation. It's a beautiful thing, and I'm really glad that we could experience that in the fight world because it's very violent, it's very brutal, and being able to have both sides of that, especially in the women's division, it's incredible.
And one thing I can say is though is I mean I've been doing this now for about 3 years, and there's been a couple of times that if the fighter starts to cry, it's like I'm not afraid to admit this, and yes, guys do cry by the way, is that I will tear up with them. It's like I don't want them to cry along with. It's like I will just like cry with them because I want them to know that they are loved and that they are being cared about in the sport. Because that's what I love is that you hear stories, you see the emotions on their face, and it's like we all have a story in some way, and with yours, it's very incredible. And I really love just to be able to get a chance to sit down, have the opportunity to be able to go after these interviews, just to be able to hear the passion. And what you're doing is very, very incredible. And of course, who was it again that you end up interviewing that almost had that moment? Was it Roxy?
Ronnie Martinez.
Raleigh
Yeah,
Martin
she'll also
Raleigh?
be. Yeah, Ronnie. Sorry. Yeah, she'll be on the card as well. She'll be doing the Muay Thai. She will be defending her title. So I'm super excited for that. She has a beautiful style in the Muay Thai world. So I'm excited. I actually did an interview with VFS a little bit ago. I'm not sure when it will come out, but I was very emotional during that. And like you said, it's showing the background and showing what you have to go through. And again, this sport is tough. Personal life, just life in general, it's tough. You have a lot of obstacles to overcome, and being able to have an outlet with it and having support system and family and gym family, all that sort of stuff, it's really just a blessing.
And of course, real quick though, I definitely want to send a shout out to Ronnie because that's what a couple of times. I mean, once when her fight got announced, I was very ecstatic. She was very ecstatic, and I would love to get a chance to have her on. So, Ronnie, if you're seeing this, you best believe I want you on here, girl.
Oh yeah, I'm super excited. We're actually on the same card this time, and I'm not just interviewing, so I'm thrilled.
I mean, who knows? Maybe you might end up having. She might end up interviewing you. Yo, that'd be
That was
really
very
cool.
cool.
That would be very, very cool. Shout out to Ronnie Martinez. Go show some love to her. And of course, my next question is that, at the end of the day, there's always just a check mark that we want to get a chance to cross off the list. Goals that we want to get a chance to achieve slash accomplish. And my question to you is, what's some of the goals you would love to get a chance to accomplish?
Yeah, so right now, like close term goals, we're only going to do a couple more boxing. That's why, especially for my fans, if you want to see me fight locally, this is the time. There's not going to be many opportunities after this. So we're going to get a couple more boxing, and then we're going to switch over to the MMA side and start going that way. Get a few out before, we start getting to the UFC levels. So I'm excited. That's always been my goal, is to be the UFC champion. And I've had a pretty big offer not too long ago for the boxing side of it, and that was a 5-year contract with the MVP. And it was a true blessing to be offered that, being considered. I mean, again, they're very high level and it's amazing. But boxing was more so always been like a stepping stone. We decided to go into the boxing side first before the MMA just because of my national titles, my Team USA, all that sort of stuff. It was an easy transition. And so now that I've done a little bit with the boxing, got my foot wet with it, I enjoyed it, but the fun stuff happens in the cage. And so I'm super excited to get to that part.
And of course, I believe this may be the first time that this has ever happened live, but yet you actually have a comment from Anthony Glasser, I believe. He says that he hopes that you make it to the UFC.
Thank you. I will. If it's in God's plans, it will. And it's always going to be in his timing and when it's supposed to be.
And of course, we're going to get a chance to talk about a big fight coming up that I mentioned at the top of this interview. You're going to be taking on a very tough opponent in Olivia Beerley from San Antonio, Texas, live on September 27th. I mean, you're taking on a very tough girl who's actually making making her boxing debut, so to speak. So, what's going to be the mindset, and how do you feel taking on a very experienced and a very tough opponent in Olivia?
Absolutely. I'm super excited. Again, I love challenges, and going into this fight, I know it's going to be a battle. So
Yeah.
I'm super excited. She's very tough. I love the fact that she has the MMA background as well, and making that transition. That is probably one of the coolest things lately, especially as myself, because I'm planning on to do the same thing, but little reversed. I think it's awesome. We need more women that could do both. And so this is going to be a really fun fight, and I'm excited. Yeah, get your guys' tickets. You can get them directly through me on my Instagram under Jenna the Gem, or you could go to the VFS and we'll have a pay-per-view link as well coming out.
And of course, real quick though, Anthony did say, "You're welcome and you're right above God." And I'm new to the scene. I had my first sanctioned fight on November 15th. He asked who you're fighting. Olivia Beerley from San Antonio, Texas. For anybody who doesn't know Olivia, she's been fighting for the Fury, the Fury promotion. A very incredible female. And one thing I love is that you both have had tremendous respect. She talked about last week. She's got a lot of respect for you. And of course, you got a lot of respect for her. So once again, guys, and of course, I'm going to shout out to VFS for this. If you guys want your tickets now, go to valleyfightseries.com. It's going to be at the Table Mountain Casino Resort. Once again, guys, here it is, and it's going to be in the main event. First time both of these ladies get a chance to headline a big event. I mean, not going to get a chance to ask you this, though. I mean, does it give you goosebumps the fact that you get a chance to be in the main event?
Oh, absolutely. This is definitely one of my dreams come true. Again, wanting to fight here somewhat locally. Table Mountain isn't too far from where I'm at. We've had many fights in the past back out and fall through just when we wanted them local. And so I'm so excited. I cannot wait to walk into that ring with all my people there, all my supporters, everyone who's been there since day one. Again, there's not many more chances they're going to be able to get to be in the same building as one of my fights. And so I'm so excited. I'm not going to let it take over a little too much. We still have a job to get done and we're going to focus on that. And then we'll enjoy it throughout the whole process. So again, this is a blessing to have this opportunity, and I'm grateful and I'm ready to go.
And of course, one thing about I will say before we do get to my final question is that he also said keep your head up, and I'm not going to say the rest. Just have faith in you. We're not going to do some trash talking here because like you said before, both ladies have respect, so we're going to keep it respectful in here.
No worries. Everybody has different approaches to the game, and like I always say, I like to do my talking in the ring or in the cage, and that's where it needs to be done.
In the famous words of Migos, and hopefully I don't butcher this, walk it like I talk it. That's the way I feel about
Yes, sir, of course.
it. Now, of course, my final question. Are you ready for this? Because this is going to be a very difficult question. All right. So at the end of the day, we all want to be recognized for something that we do in the sport. I just want to be recognized as that one cheesy interviewer given the platform for amazing fighters like yourself. And you, as a fighter, you definitely want to be recognized for something different. So my question to you is, what's something you want to be recognized for during your time of fighting?
Ooh, good question. I would definitely want to be recognized not only for my performance in the ring or cage, but also what I do outside of the cage. As a fighter, being a woman in a male dominated sport, you really want to have a positive influence. And using the stage that we have, not only do I want to show everyone my love for Christ and my walk through the faith, because it's not always easy, there's always going to be ups and downs through it. Nobody's perfect, but kind of showing that side of it, but also being able to bring my community up with it. I work with a lot of young girls now, and I really want to be a good example for them. And I hope that's something that if they think of me, they could think of that as well. Not only that I could fight and I do well there, but also that I can make a positive impact. Something that I always try to tell my students and the girls and stuff that are coming up is every day, no matter what it is, try to make someone's day. Even if it just makes them smile for a minute, or, give them something to remember about you, because at the end of the day, when we leave this earth, that's the only thing that we could really rely on is making a positive impact, spreading the love of Jesus Christ, and, really just being that impact, being that example. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I definitely want to get a chance to ask you this. I mean, since you're talking about your faith, and then, of course, it's going to be a difficult question, but what's your favorite Bible verse?
Ooh. Um, I actually have a few that I'm thinking about putting on my shorts this one, and I don't want to reveal it yet because I haven't quite decided.
Okay.
Um, We'll go basic with this one because this one isn't going to be the one I put on there. But Philippians 4:13, I could do all things through Christ, and
Yeah.
that is, I know everyone's like, oh, that one's like the basic one. I get it, but that one holds so much meaning in my life. It was something that when I first read it, I remember being in Bible club at school and kind of like, oh, okay, cool, writing in my notes, that sort of thing. But it really started hitting once I got to a certain point in my career, where things are a lot harder. You're a lot older. Things take a lot of toll. You start stressing. You start getting worried about things, trying to multitask. But once you kind of you know what, everything's fine, leaving in God's hands, pray about it, and everything fixes like that. And
Yeah.
it may not always be the way you want to at first. It always works its way out. And there's been very high highs and very low lows already in my career. And I would say the only reason why I was able to get through that is because of my relationship with God and how I put it first in everything. So again, everything happens for a reason, and my foundation to my career, who I am, it's all because of Jesus Christ.
And one thing I definitely say, before we do get to our final thoughts and comments, is that if you're struggling, whatever it is that's going on in your life, don't worry about it. Pray about it.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
And of course, definitely want to get a chance to say is that for anybody who does not have Jenna on Instagram or other social media, you guys can get a chance to follow her on Instagram at Jenna the Gem. She is a one of a kind individual. She's an amazing individual. And of course, I got to do this in all my interviews, but for having you on here, first of all, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. I got to. It's cheesy, Jake. I should have warned you this before we got started.
No worries. Thank you. I
But
appreciate it.
But of course, second of all, it's definitely been an amazing time. And of course, I know you've been told by this by so many people, and I'm going to tell you this myself. Is that I'm very, very proud of you. Your story on how you started to where you are today, thanks to the love of God and of course Jesus Christ as well. It's very, very beautiful. I mean, you can definitely be an inspiration to not only just those little girls in the crowd, but of course, so many people surrounding you, or even in this fight community. And I just want to tell you from the bottom of my heart, just keep your head up. Doesn't matter what's going on with life. You got an amazing support system. You got an amazing family of people that love you, that will pray for you. And of course, I believe amazing things is going to be coming your way.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
And of course, before we hop off here, do you have any final thoughts or comments you want to say?
No, just I'll see you guys September 27th. Again, check out my Instagram. If you guys need tickets, go ahead and shoot a comment or a DM. I have tickets physical so I can get you guys with no fees. If not, I also have links as well. You guys aren't going to want to miss this September 27th. It's going to be a great event, great show, but also even better main event. So I'll see you guys there.
Guys, you heard who first. I mean, the main event is going to be official on September 27th. Get your tickets today at valleyfightseries.com or for the pay-per-view info. Jenna, thank you so much for just being on here. It's been a blessing. It's been incredible. I will definitely send you the links when I'm done. But guys, go follow her. She's incredible. Show some love. Go hype up all of her posts because I'm sure she'll appreciate it.
Absolutely. And thank you for giving fighters an opportunity and a stage to be able to talk not only about themselves, but what they do in their lives and in their fighting careers. You are also behind the scenes for everything as well. So thank you. And I know I'm not the only one who appreciate you, and I'm sure many other fighters as well.
Well, I mean, I will definitely tell you this though, is that and I admit this earlier. I struggle. I'm currently in therapy at the moment, but the one thing I can say is that outside of the fact that I believe in God and I believe in Jesus Christ, is the fact that I see you women being an inspirational souls, and yet you can inspire a man like me to be able to have this never give up attitude. So this is the reason why I've been doing this. I've been doing this now for 3/4 years, and it's a very blessing. I mean, I don't deserve all the things because if anything, you women deserve all the gratitude, all the love, everything. So if anything, thank you because you're the one that's going there, fighting your hind ends off, doing what you do best, and that is killing it, making everybody just admire how incredible you are, and both inside the ring and outside the ring. So if anything, thank you for all that you're doing.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Of course, guys, go follow her at Jenna the Gym. And of course, tomorrow we have a very early start. We got not one, but two interviews, all going to be starting at 8 p.m., 8 a.m., sorry, 8 a.m. Eastern. We got a lot of things coming up for you guys at 8 a.m. That's a tongue twister. 8 a.m. There we go. I'm getting there. And of course, another one at 5 p.m. Eastern. But guys, for Jenna Creaston, I am Jake, not from State Farm, saying so long, and we'll definitely see you guys next time.
I think it's done.